From moments in the Colosseums to boxers of the day, we really love seeing a good fight. And Bionicle has sure seen quite a lot of them. My name's Kahi, and this is the top 10 Bionicle battles. Number 10, the Core War. Coming in at a number 10, the Core War was the largest conflict in this list, spanning across the entire planet of Spherus Magna. The war began as a dispute over energized protodermis leaking out of the ground on the Northern Frost, which was the territory of the Element Lord of Ice. Once the other Element Lords found out about it, they attempted to all claim it by force. This in turn resulted in a planet-wide war between all 6 Element Lords and their armies, involving most of the planet's population. Despite the Great Being's best efforts to quell the conflict, the war grew so great that the entire planet split apart into 3, primarily due to the draining of the energized protodermis done by the Fire Tribe. This remains the most devastating battle in the Bionicle lore, and it took over 100,000 years to repair the damage done because of it. At number 9, the second battle for Metru Nui pitted the Toa Metru, the Hordika at the time, against the largest non-Brotherhood of Makuta army in the Matoran universe, also at the time. The battle was held at the center of Metru Nui, with the massive Visorak horde fighting against his 5 Toa, 6 Rahaga, and Kitangu. Eventually, the Toa were victorious, but only due to Matau reminding Vakama of his destiny and bringing him back over to their side. This battle saw the death of countless Visorak and their leader, Sidorak. This makes the list for being one of the first large-scale battles we've seen, and killing one of the main characters during it. Our next spot at number 8 reminds us that the Nuva are not the strongest characters in the Matoran universe. After arriving in Boyanui, the Toa Nuva encountered the Piraka, a gang of Skakti out to find and steal the Mask of Life. They began to fight, but quickly became outmatched by the former Dark Hunters. Despite their best efforts and a final tactical plan by Leo and Nuva, they were all defeated, had their weapons and masks taken, and left for dead. Were it not for a well-timed volcanic eruption, they might not have made it into 2008. Jumping to number 7, Rebellion against the Toa Empire. We see that not every universe is conflict-free. In the Toa Empire alternate universe, Toa are the strongest in all the land. No one dares defy them, except other Toa. While traveling through the dimension, Takanuva aids a large-scale rebellion against the oppressive ruler, Toa Tuyet. This battle ranks here for pitting Toa against Toa and showing us how a battle like this would take place. During the battle, the original Toamata of that universe are killed, and not cleanly either. While we don't know the aftermath of the battle, we do know that it took many lives, including that of Toa Tuyet. Number 6, Takanuva vs Makuta. Capping off the first 3 years of Bionicle, the battle between light and shadow manifested itself in the form of Takanuva vs Makuta Teridax. While many believed the battle to be lackluster thanks to being a glorified Koli match, the stakes were still as high as ever. Despite Teridax's best efforts, he was defeated by Takanuva, and the two merged together to become Takutanuva. After being crushed by a giant door, the two split apart once more, and Teridax's plans were again pushed back. While not the most exciting battle, it was still an important one that decided the safety of the Matoran of Metru Nui. Coming in number 5, but taking place before what it was in number 6, is the attack on Ta-Koro. Despite Tahunuva's claim that no enemy had breached the walls of the city, it took only 3 Rakshi to destroy the fortress-like home of the Tamatoran. During the battle, great damage was done to the entire village. Tahu became infected, and as a result of the Koro sinking, Tahu also lost his Toa Suva and the 5 other Konohi Nuva. It was a great personal hit to the Toa Nuva fire, and a great loss from the Torin that lived there. Number 4, the battle for Kini-Nui. While the Toamata had descended into the depths of the Mangaia, the 7 Matoran that comprised the Chronicler's company stayed behind to make sure that no Rahi flanked the heroes. The Matoran held off admirably for a while before being completely overwhelmed by Rahi forces. Just in time, the main military forces of Madanui came to their aid, raining discs from above fired by the Ta-Koro Guard and the Lee-Koro Gakko force. Members of the Usuri popped out from below to ambush the Rahi. With all of their forces combined, the Matoran managed to push back the Rahi and prevent them from invading the Kini-Nui. Number 3, the Battle of Mangaia. In the top 3, we have the Battle of the Mangaia. The Toamata descended down in order to battle the evil Makuta. Despite their simple goal, they encountered various enemies. Their first challenge was the Manas, which they were unable to defeat without merging the 2 stronger Toa Kaida. After pushing back, they fought against shadow versions of themselves. Through their proven unity, they defeated their foes and pressed on to finally fight Makuta. The battle proved difficult, Makuta attempting to first trick them and then abruptly destroy them. In the end, they outmatched Makuta with their elemental powers in Golden Kanohi. The day was won, for the moment. Number 2, Metru Nui vs Makuta. Well, maybe not the greatest battle of them all, number 2 gives us something really awesome anyways, the ultimate battle. The fight that took 9 years to build up to. Metru Nui versus his brother, the evil Makuta. Unfortunately, many of us were disappointed by this battle. The Takanuva were not united and had very little to do with it. Teridax's death was a bit contrived to a lot of us, and what should have been an incredible battle ended up feeling a little disappointing. However, this was still the final battle, and there were still 2 gigantic robots, whose heads breached the atmosphere, duking it out on a planet. The scale was like no fight ever seen before. While many fans didn't get what they really wanted, the battle was still massive and everyone's lives were still at stake. It saw the destruction of the Matoran universe, large-scale damage to Metru Nui, the death of Bionicle's greatest villain, Teridax. Every single card was played here, and this battle did see Bionicle off, until its return in 2015. Number 1, the battle for the Codrex. This battle is a special one, because it was covered in nearly every form of visual media LEGO had at their disposal. Comics, movies, mini animations on the website, they all showed the gigantic battle between the Takanuva, Takanuva, and Toa Empire fighting against the other 8 Makuta. The battle was to enter the legendary Codrex in order to awaken Metru Nui. The Toa managed to push their way through, but that was only the first part of the battle. They launched a second counterattack against the Makuta using the Axelara T9 and the Raka T3, in hot pursuit of the jet tracks that had been stolen by Antros. The battle raged on, seeing Takanuva almost killing several Makuta. During the battle, Kini-Nui was evacuated, Metru Nui was abruptly awoken. This in turn resulted in the Great Energy Storm and killed all the Makuta that were involved in the battle. The Toa escaped that moment in victory, only to lead into the greatest defeat, with Teridax revealing himself to have taken over the universe. It was an incredible way to end the Ignition trilogy, send us out of the Matoran universe, and complete the destiny of the Toa we started the series with, even if it didn't end in their favor. And that was the top 10 Bionicle battles. Have your own list or something you think we should have added? Put your own list in the comments below, and be sure to check us out on vessel.com/TTV channel. And also on the message boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. My name's Kahi, and hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you next time.